Welcome to Football South Australia's coverage of the WNPL Round 7. This is the match of the round. It's the match of the month. West Adelaide and Adelaide City once again playing out a top-of-the-table clash. Well, it would have been if this game had kicked off earlier. Salisbury Inter got a win in an earlier game tonight, and they have temporarily taken top spot. But Adelaide City and West Adelaide went into this round locked together in positions 1 and 2, both on 15 points. And as this will be the halfway mark of the competition, victory tonight will put the winner in pole position to go on and take out the premiership for season 2020. Because, of course, we've been reduced to 14 rounds, and after tonight we'll have 7 completed. Can't wait for this match. It's going to be fantastic. Coming to you from Velo Football Centre at Angle Park. My name's Paul Marcachetti. Thank you for joining the Football SA broadcast. And joining me tonight, Spiro Karanikos Mimis. Spiro, looking forward to these two dancing again.
What do they say, Paul? There's only 3 things certain in life: death, taxes, and Adelaide City versus West Adelaide Crackers. So
it is always a cracker, and the way that this rivalry played out last season was amazing, and I think it could run this way again this season. They're both such good sides. They're both laden with W League talent. They've both already had a fantastic match against each other in the Cup a week and a half ago, where, just as happened in the grand final last year, West took an early lead, but City came back to win 2-1. But you just get the feeling that you're not going to see it all being one-way traffic. It was certainly not last year, even if City did come out and claim all the trophies in the end.
Adelaide City have really been the dominant team for the last 3 or 4 weeks since the restart of the competition, Paul. But West Adelaide have probably been plugging away quietly in the background, and they're going to give Adelaide City a real test for their money tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if this one is going to be, like you said, a lot closer than maybe some people are predicting.
We're just seeing the teams walking out now, and one thing that I think we should always bear in mind is that these teams met 6 times in League Cup and finals action last year. And in actual fact, West won 3 of those games, but unfortunately for them, City really won the ones that counted. They won the 3rd fixture in the league season, which more or less wrapped up the premiership for City. They won the Cup final and they won the grand final. So, you know, they had the same number of wins, but City got the big wins, and that was really what the difference was. But really, even if they are the treble winners, there's really not that much between these sides, as we're just seeing them line up.
We should probably mention the big news coming out of Adelaide City today, and that's that they've had a change at the helm. Their former coach is no longer with them. Max Primaro resigned for, as the club has told us, personal reasons. So Adriano Pellegrino, who is the technical director at Adelaide City, of former A-League player with Central Coast as well, and I think he played NSL for Adelaide United, if I'm not wrong, Paul. But he's in charge tonight. But it'll be interesting to see whether he gets the gig moving forward, or whether Adelaide City will appoint what will be their 4th coach in 3 seasons. And when you say that out loud, that's almost phenomenal for a team
that is so dominant. Well, indeed. I mean, they've won the last 3 championships. They won the treble, of course, last season, all 3 cups that were on offer. And, you know, it really is a strong group of players. And I don't think you should ever really take that away. And, you know, they've obviously had some good coaches over that period. But with the sort of lineups they've got, and we'll go through them shortly, you know that there's just so much quality on that pitch. They'll be starting with Kendall Jenner in goal. The normal back 4 this season, Izzy Hodgson at left back. The Mac defence, Macaulay and McNamara in the 2 centre-back positions.
Can't help yourself, can you?
Michaela Vidmar at right midfield. Then right back. The midfield will be Yuka Sasaki, Georgia Campagnoli and Dylan Holmes. And up forward, Danny Di Bartolo on the left, Tian Powell at centre forward, and Chelsea Dorber on the right.
Nano Sasaki is on the bench. We understand got an injury in the warm-up, so Campagnoli's come in for her in the starting 11.
Indeed. And just quickly, West Adelaide will start with Sarah Willisey in goal. Strong back 4, Laura Johns, Eleanor Saroulis, Abby Touchette and Emily Hodgson. Midfield of Kirkby, Clayich and Anna Pritchard, the reigning Shirley Brown medalist. And up forward, Nicole Tilley on the left, Christy Hillier at centre forward, Georgia Macri on the right. We're ready to go. Clayich with the first touch. She goes long. But that'll be easily dealt with. There is Campagnoli, late change into the lineup. Pritchard, Emily Hodgson. Now trying to get Nicole Tilley through, but Vidmar should be able to clear that. She's got it out. It's going to be a throw for West, so they've got the initiative early. They've pushed straight forward from kickoff. They've given it away. Now it's going to be a City's throw, and probably a good chance for a little bit of settling in the game. But Tilley's managed to keep the ball in, and West have got possession again. Hilliers managed to force a throw back West way. All the action on West Adelaide's attacking left in this first minute of the game.
We should mention that tonight's WMPL Match of the Month is proudly presented by RAA, car insurance that keeps you moving. Visit raa.com.au to get a quote today.
Now can Tilly get a ball in? That's going to be easy for Kendall Jenner. Hodgson trying to get the ball up the wing to Powell. Good touch, but Kirkby read it. Now it's Emily Hodgson. The two namesakes on the same side of the pitch, as so often happens. First touch for Sarah Willisey. As we mentioned, just so many players here that are current W League players, and another group of them also have been former W League players. Here's Cerulis, last two teams of the year in the WMPL. Laura Johns in West Adelaide colours this season after being at Adelaide Uni for so long. Now Tilly trying to get past Vidmar, but Vidmar will win that battle. Holmes. Dorber tries to get the ball forward, but Johns gets in the way there. Tilly. It's intercepted. Good tight action at the moment. Vidmar did well, and Yuka Sasaki and McNamara are just going to clean that up. But West just keeping up the pressure. And Macaulay's lost out there. She might be able to battle back and win back the ball. And now City can go on the attack with Di Bartolo. She tries to put through Powell. But that'll be cleaned up by Cerulis. Oh, they're playing with fire here, but the ball's gone straight back to Sarah Willisey.
Electric start here for this match of the month, WMPL. The top two teams, West Adelaide and Adelaide City. Either team wins tonight, they'll be top of the ladder come the end of the round. Right now, Salisbury Inter is holding that spot after an emphatic 5-1 win against Metro United in the earlier game. But even a draw will see Adelaide City return to the top of the table. But West Adelaide will want to ensure 3 points to go above their biggest rivals. Just outside the 18-yard box now for West Adelaide. Adelaide City try to clear that. It's come back. Hodgson on the far side there. West Adelaide regain possession. Keeping control very well, West Adelaide. But the Mac defence there again. Bit of ping pong. It's come to Johns. As Paul said, so many years at Adelaide Uni, Laura Johns, but now with West Adelaide. Vidmar's done well. And Adelaide City should keep their composure here and retain possession. And one thing they do really well, Paul, is keep possession. Commentators curse, of course. The keeper gave it away straight away. But that was a bit rash there from Tilly, who tried to go the first-time shot. But Adelaide City known for being able to just retain possession and tire teams out by making them move. And the pressure and the intensity is quite high really early here. Hodgson did well to win that against Di Bartolo, but should be Adelaide City and they should clear easily. It's Campagnoli now for Di Bartolo. Good to see her starting again for Adelaide City. Towards the end of last year, found herself on the bench, but a very talented individual. She's harassed 2-on-1 here, Di Bartolo. Did well though, and that's cleared by Touchette. Only as far as Macaulay. Well won in the middle, but only as far as Powell. Powell now looking for the switch. That is an excellent ball. Here's Chelsea Dorber. Chelsea Dorber, who scored, I think, 2 or 3 last week. Can she get back on her right? Looks to cut inside on her left. Lays it. Can Adelaide City do something here? West Adelaide's defence is held up well. Here's Dylan Holmes, wearing a face mask after taking a couple knocks in a game a couple weeks ago to the face. Now wearing the protective gear. And Adelaide City will restart again. Macaulay. Yuka Sasaki. It's given away. There's Holmes to regain possession. Sasaki now. She's offside. And that'll be the first offside of the game. And it's been a very electric start to this game, Paul. Very quick pace. And both teams talented. And that's shown early.
Interesting how the pace of the game does turn out. One thing that I think West did better than City in the meetings last year in general was play the game at the tempo that they wanted. And it did work for them on several occasions. Here's Tilly on the end of a very accurate long ball. Tilly might burst through. That's a really good tackle, but it's nearly falling to Klajic. She's trying to wrestle and hold position, but she's been forced back a long way. And City going to regain possession through Di Bartolo. She's scrambling with Pritchard. Very competitive early. Here's Hodgson. Chance to put the foot on the ball. Di Bartolo wants it from Sasaki. Pritchard's there again. Now here's a chance for Powell. She's got only Dorber running through, but steaming through as well as Campagnoli. It's going to be a throw for Adelaide City. But yes, West did do well trying to control the tempo of the games when these teams met last year, and it nearly paid off for them in the grand final, of course, but City were able to get that very, very late winner through Georgia Campagnoli when a penalty shootout was beckoning to take the treble and win the title for the 10th time. His Powell with the throw, not a lot of movement, and Pritchard's going to be able to clear, but just marched it back, gone back out of touch. And now it's Macaulay. She's just going to pass it along the line. Now, City, it's been a big week for them. And it's going to be offside. How are they going to respond tonight? These first 7 minutes have just flown by, such has been the pace of the game. We'll see if we see a bit of a settling now. Here's Cerulis. Willisey. Touchet. Pritchard. Patient build-up. Now there's a bit of traffic. Holmes comes in to break up the attack. And West will go again with the throw. They're officially the home team tonight in this clash at Vallo.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, because we do love their away.
We love their away strip.
We love the away strip. It is fantastic. Long ball in for Tilly. That's probably going to be a bit too far for her. Macaulay won it. Here's Pritchard trying to hold the ball, but she's under tremendous pressure and has lost out in the end. Dorber playing a little bit deep at the moment. That's probably offside against Di Bartolo. West have held the line pretty well so far.
In the 9th minute here at the Parks, Adelaide City 0, West Adelaide 0. Thank you so much for joining us, whether you're watching us through YouTube or through Facebook Live. We really appreciate you taking the time to enjoy some football. We hope wherever you are, you're safe and you're well, and you're enjoying what is going to be a great game between these two teams. That's an excellent switch, but Di Bartolo again offside there, clearly offside. Just mistimed her run, but West Adelaide defence was quite clever and pushed up and caught the winger off. That's the third offside for Adelaide City. It's not even 10 minutes yet. There's Hodgson. Like you said, Paul, so many W League players in both these teams. Kirkby. It's gone all the way back safely to Sarah Willisey, who has cemented herself as Adelaide United's number 1. If you're not familiar with Sarah Willisey, you should look up some of her saves from this season. In fact, I'm pretty sure she won Save of the Year.
She's got a highlight reel.
And Di Bartolo off again. That's the third time in about 2 minutes Di Bartolo's off. But the positive for Adelaide City is that she's getting into dangerous positions. And if those runs are timed a little bit better, she's through and she's very quick. Given away cheaply there by Touchet. But Di Bartolo's touch is heavy and it'll be a throw-in for West Adelaide on the far side. Decent crowd here tonight too at the Parks. We actually had all 8 teams playing here tonight. Usually the games are separated between here at the Parks and another facility in South Australia down at West Beach near the airport. But tonight, all 8 teams. There was 4 games tonight, 2 earlier and 2 now. There's one playing adjacent to us as well. That's between the NTC and Adelaide Uni. So there's a decent crowd here tonight. Isn't it great to see people out and about and enjoying their soccer? It's fantastic.
Not too cold either tonight. It's for a winter's night out here. It's actually quite pleasant.
Yeah, it was probably about 0 before, but it's about -5 now, so it's not too bad. No, it is quite nice. It is quite nice. Adelaide City with Powell. Well intercepted. West Adelaide defence, Claich. Trying to play Tilly, but it should be easy pickings for McNamara, and she's cleared it to safety. We throw in for Laura Johns. Down the line to Tilly. She's done well to turn Vitmar. Tilly now on the left foot, crosses in. That's a great ball to the back post. The Adelaide City defence has done well there. Hodgson. That's Adelaide City's Hodgson. We have a Hodgson for West Adelaide and a Hodgson for Adelaide City. So you're just going to have to be patient with us, folks, while we get you through that one.
And both Adelaide United players, of course.
Yes, they are. So Hodgson did well, but it looks like West Adelaide have earned the first corner of the match. And it is Laura Johns going over there to take it. You might just be able to hear through the effects microphone that there is a bit of a breeze. It's not anything dramatic, but definitely not going to be an advantage to the teams, but there is a little bit of a breeze. Swung in by Johns, but that's a poor corner to be fair. But that might pick up during the night.
We'll see. One thing we do know, even though it's not cold now, when the temperature goes down here, it goes down fast.
Yeah, it does.
Kendall Jenner will take the goal kick. City keeper, born in Renmark. Good to see that there is regional representation in the WMPL. She's one of several players. Now, that's a really good ball. Probably not quite angled enough for Chelsea Dorber, and Willisey was alive to the danger. A decent representation, I was going to say, of regional players in the WMPL. And here's another one, Emily Hodgson from Birdwood. Played against boys when she was a young player. Certainly didn't do anything to harm her development. Of course, has played for Junior Matildas. I think 4 seasons now with Adelaide United, Emily Hodgson. And very much a mainstay there. Cerulis. Johns has got some space here, and she's got pace. But just couldn't keep it in. There's an opportunity there, and that's the danger that an overlapping Johns can give you.
Talking about players from the regions, Paul, there's a young lady from Mount Gambier who's about to head over to Spain. She was sitting next to us just a couple of weeks ago when we called the last match of the month. Great move.
Indeed, a great move for Jenna McCormick, who will be playing in the Spanish League. Of course, she'll be over there with Alex Chidiac, who's also in the league with Atletico Madrid. Now, Jenna signed with Real Betis.
Real Betis, that's right.
Very smart green and white kit.
You are a fan of the green kits.
I like that kit.
Yeah, he's except Celtics. He doesn't like Celtics.
It's not many of them, are there? Everyone wears some sort of blue, red, or white, like these guys. Here we go. Throw in for Adelaide City. That's not found a target, and Willisey is going to get the relieving free kick. Now, that's one of the reasons why we celebrate West Adelaide's away shirt. That tremendous light green, sort of fluoro-y green.
What do you call it? I call it. Is it green? I'd say it's highlighter yellow.
Oh. Vote now on our Facebook poll as to what colour West Adelaide's away kit is. Here's Tilly. It's just gone over her. Good, well won in the end by Vidmar. Johns. Cerulis. Takes the safe option. Here's Touchette. Pritchard makes herself available. Lots of pressure. Well done, Yuka Sasaki. Here's a chance. Sasaki! And it's just gone wide. Sarah Willisey closed the angle. And Yuka probably didn't get quite the connection that she was after, but that was a huge chance for her.
It's not often Anna Pritchard gets caught in possession, but that's the talent of Sasaki.
Right, she was alive to the opportunity. Nearly paid off.
Just ticking over into the 16th minute mark. It is West Adelaide 0, Adelaide City 0. This top of the table match of the month for the WMPL. And it's already only after 15 minutes living up to all its expectations. Quick, fast, exciting Two very talented teams. No doubt the best two teams in the competition so far. And West Adelaide will be hungry to reverse those 3 losses last season, as Paul said, to Adelaide City, which cost them the Premiership, the Championship and the Cup. Here's Wittmar. Dorber. A lethal finisher, Chelsea Dorber. Tian Powell. Not too bad herself, to be honest, up front. Referees missed a handball there, but West Adelaide's picked up possession. Pritchard. Again, a loose ball from Pritchard. She was the WNPL Player of the Year last year. Very talented individual. Holmes. Only as far as Pritchard. West Adelaide trying to play through. Sasaki there again, and there's Dylan Holmes to Di Bartolo. Looking for the switch is Di Bartolo. She decided to cut back inside, and now it's with Sasaki. Sasaki trying to play through, but really there was no option there, and it's gone all the way through to Willisey. Very composed is Sarah Willisey. Rarely see her panic when she's got the ball at her feet, and that's a sign of a very good goalkeeper, and she's indeed exactly that. Pritchard. 4 Adelaide City players around her. Well done by Tilly. Played it beautifully to Klajic, but cleared by Hodgson. And that'll be a throw-in for West Adelaide. Just in front of the RAA sign, who are our sponsors here. And we are delighted that they can be part of the broadcast tonight, and they bring us tonight's WNPL Match of the Month. Car insurance that keeps you moving. Visit raa.com.au to get a quote today. Hodgson again, taking the throw-in for West Adelaide. Klajic. Sasaki in the way again. West Adelaide trying to break down the Adelaide City defence, but that's easy pickings for the Mac defence, as we call them. Macaulay and McNamara, and that was McNamara that time, seeing it out to safety. Goal kick taken quickly. Of course, goal kicks now allowed to be taken inside the box under the new rules. Here's Holmes. It's great to see a lot of teams actually utilising that rule, Paul, and trying to play out of defence.
Keeps play moving.
Yeah, it's a great rule. One of the better ones brought in. We'll discuss the handball another time.
Maybe not. I'll go on a rant.
That's a foul for Adelaide City against Adelaide City, and it'll be West Adelaide ball.
Sarah Willisey now 4 seasons with Adelaide United, 38 appearances, and wonderful to see her called into the Matildas squad last year, even though unfortunately she still waits for her first cap. I'm sure it will come. Long ball for Tilly to get onto again, but it's gone over her, and here's Vidmar. He's going to have to clear out for a throw-in.
Isn't it funny how the lives of footballers can change in an instant? I mean, Sarah Willisey was the backup for many years at Adelaide United, and of course it was Eliza Camp. I'll just pause there.
Well, big tackle on Tilly, but it was a clean one.
Of course,
and City of one possession.
Eliza Campbell got that concussion.
Now Sasaki has put through Di Bartolo, who's onside this time. Hodgson gives chase. Di Bartolo goes straight to Willisey. Of course, they were former teammates too. Willisey, a former Adelaide City player, and moved over to West Adelaide 3 years ago. She just dinks it out right to Hodgson. Back to Touchette. It's got a bit of time. Looks like she's going to try to go long. West haven't minded that option. And they've got some good targets up front with Hillier and Tilly, so why not? On this occasion, it's going to be an Adelaide City throw back on the halfway line, on the far side. And for those of you not familiar with this venue, City going to the right of screen, which is the southern or city end here at Vallo. Football SA's premier venue. And as we mentioned, there are 2 matches going on at once at the moment. And in the other game between Adelaide Uni and Football SA NTC, there's also no score there on the adjacent pitch. Now, City going to try to change that. But West Adelaide have held a very, very good line in defence so far. And once again, Adelaide City finding themselves either passing to nobody or getting into an offside position. Now, Klajc has stolen the ball. She gets it into Hillier. Tilly shoots. Oh, and Jenna scrambles in and nearly coughed it up. Hillier was waiting to pounce, but Jenna was able to grab the ball on the second attempt. But very, very good play by West. It was pressure that made that chance, just as it had been at the other end when Sasaki had a chance for City. And that could really be the way that many chances unfold in this game. Now, good ball by Tilly to try to get forward, but it's probably gone just a bit too far. And Kendall Jenner this time will be a little bit more comfortable in claiming the ball.
Long throw by Jenner to Hodgson. It's Izzy Hodgson. All the way back to Macaulay. Long hopeful ball. Tian Power might get onto this, but Willisey's onto it quickly. Puts Johns under a bit of pressure, and here's Dorber. Johns given away. Chelsea Dorber cuts in on her left, looking for a shot, but that's easy for Willisey. And that's how quickly Adelaide City can turn nothing into something.
Just got to mention one little tactic West are pulling a little bit that has caught City out a couple of times is just interchanging Klajc and Macri. Klajc has burst out to the right wing where Macri usually is on a couple of occasions, and there she is again now.
Klajc plays it back inside. Here's Pritchard. Ritmar in the way. Campagnoli to Dorber, looking to play Di Bartolo. It's safely through to Willisey, but that's obviously what Adelaide City are trying to do here. They're trying to get their wingers in Dorber and Di Bartolo released quickly, and they think they've got the West Adelaide defence for pace. It's pretty obvious that's their main target. Holmes, Di Bartolo, beautiful. Here's Holmes now, one-on-one with Willisey. Dylan Holmes makes it 1-0 for Adelaide City. Absolutely quality from the central midfielder who's on a scoring streak for Adelaide City. And that's just how easy it can be for the reigning champions. A decisive pass through the middle, a quick 1-2, releasing Holmes. And she did absolutely everything perfectly and puts Adelaide City up 1-0 against West Adelaide.
There's some ball that she got through from Yuka Sasaki as well. That was a absolute quality bit of play, and that was the first time they really did breach that offside trap. And now West have to come back. It's usually been West in the most recent meetings that have opened the scoring, both late last season and in the cup match that these teams played each other in a week and a half ago. This time they're going to need to come from behind. The 24th minute, 1-0 to City through Dylan Holmes. Now, can West react well? They haven't played badly at all, of course. They've been right in this, but it's that one chance came Holmes' way and she took it. Here's Willisey. Going to go long and look for Klajc. Macri. Here is Klajc. And tried to put through Hillier, but that was well read. Cirulis. Oh, she tried to take on Di Bartolo, Campagnoli. That was a mistake. And now Dorber might be through to make it 2. Chelsea Dorber. It's 2 goals in 2 minutes. And that was absolutely ruthless by Adelaide City. Won the ball brilliantly. And the ball through to Dorber by Campagnoli was just perfect. And all of a sudden, West Adelaide have a mountain to climb. Fantastic play, though, by the Black and Whites. And they are fired up. The word from in the camp was that they would be after the coaching change that happened earlier today. And they've just had a couple of huge minutes which have just completely changed the dynamic of this game. If West are going to get back in it, well, they've got a lot of time, but you'd really think that they need to make something happen as soon as possible. They don't want to be letting City get out of sight. You think back to the cup final last year was the one occasion in which that occurred. Hillier trying to do something. Kirkby, Tilly. Kirkby again. Can't get it out to Johns. Now it's Dorber. Beats a challenge. She's got Powell. But she keeps going herself, Chelsea Dorber. Chelsea Dorber all the way. Can she get the ball in? Willacy was there and needed to be. Yeah, of course, I was just going to say that in the cup final last year, that was the one game that ended up in a blowout. When City really got going, they got to a 3-0 lead. West did pull one back, but it ended up being 6 on the night. And that's what can happen. They have been scoring plenty of goals in recent weeks. Not all of them against this sort of opposition. But you don't want to let them get on a roll. Here's Pritchard. That one's too long. But now a chance for Klage. It's just going to run on for Jenna. And as we get into the 27th minute, City are in control.
Here's Pritchard. Just outside the 18-yard box, but Sasaki plays it safely back to Jenna. Her clearance is won by Sasaki, and she's released Di Bartolo, and Adelaide City looking hungry, looking dangerous. One more, and it's probably game over. Well done by Pritchard. Saroulis, captaining West Adelaide this season. That's a great pass by Willacy. She's found Emily Hodgson. But her pass is wayward, and there's Jenna to clear easily Sasaki. And as she's fouled by Pritchard. Bit of frustration there, I think, from Pritchard. Sasaki stayed down. That was a bit of a heavy knock into her back. But that's how easily Port Adelaide City can just turn things around. Up until then, it was a fairly even contest, but bang, bang.
2 minutes and just bang, bang, as you said. And Holmes and Dorber are having incredible seasons. I mean, Dorber's come into this match with 12 goals in 4 league games. I mean, that's just outrageous. Unbelievable, even by her standards. And Holmes is going at about a goal a game as well, from midfield, of course.
Deep midfield.
Yeah, and she is in... seems like her form just gets even better every season.
Is she an Australian citizen yet?
She is, mate.
Thank goodness.
She has worn the green and gold at junior level indeed.
Thank goodness. Because I don't want to lose that at USA, let me tell you. Here's Johns. Looking to take on Wittmar. Cuts inside on her right, but Wittmar's done well. Tilly, though, now with the ball. Switched it nicely. Adelaide City looking for an offside. Through ball. But again, it's a bit easy there for Adelaide City, and they'll clear.
Although my favourite fact about Dylan is that she's born in Sao Paulo, in Brazil.
Wow. Really?
I think parents travelling for work.
Well, that's even worse. We might lose it at Brazil. We don't want that.
Not sure if she's fluent in Portuguese. I'll have to ask her sometime.
Soccer's a universal language, mate.
It is. City with the ball now. West have turned it over and they're attacking right. Klage trying to put Macri through. It's going to come out to Saroulis. She's under pressure, though. That was really well done by Di Bartolo, who's also won the foul. And no card there from Gary Mooney, but on another occasion, Saroulis might have just got the ticket for that tug.
That was a professional foul. Lucky to get away with that one.
Holmes on the ball now. Dorber looking for the ball over the right-hand side, but I don't think that's where it's going to go. Again, that one's going to be comfortable for Willacy. West have the quality, no question of that. Players like this one who can really make things happen, Nicole Tilly. But you also need to do everything right a lot of the time when City's in this sort of form. Here's Holmes. Di Bartolo. Holmes under pressure. And West will get the throw. Coming up to the half-hour mark. Touchette. Powell keeping up the pressure. Be another throw. It'll be Emily Hodgson this time. Trying to get the ball up the wing. She'll get it back. Coming back in field. Now it's Powell. Holmes. Trying to put it through for Dorber, but Laura Johns is alive to it. Tilly. There's players in the middle if she can get a ball in. Good turn. Great cross. Oh, and it nearly broke for Hillier. But well defended in the end. Tilly's done pretty well getting some balls into that penalty area, into the danger spot. And that may well be the outlet. She's onside there, and that's another ball in. This time it's come out to Macri. Just lets it run past her. Macri now looking to turn. Good ball in for Pritchard. Pritchard trying to get a shot in. Yuka Sasaki in the way. City might get out of jail. West keeping the pressure up. This is better. Pritchard might have got a foul there. Gets a shot in. Oh, advantage was allowed. And not sure that it worked out too well for West. And Jenna now has the ball.
I think you mentioned it, Paul, that last couple of minutes have been better for West Adelaide. Still a long way back, though. Saroulis. And his fast Sasaki. Emily Hodgson. Macri. Saroulis. Long ball, hopeful to Hillier. Should be easy pickings for Adelaide City, and it is. Jenna clears it. Probably a little bit too much. Maybe not exactly what she wanted, but I'll take the throw in there, West Adelaide. It'll be the right back, Hodgson, to take the throw in. She can get up the park very quickly, Emily Hodgson. Very talented fullback. Campagnoli to Dorber. Wittmar gives it away to Psaroulis, and Psaroulis will play it all the way back to Willisey. Taking the safe option, Willisey. Excellent pass. And a great touch from Johns. Looking inside, West Adelaide. Trying to find Hillier was Tilly, but Adelaide City again, very strong. But Tilly has done magnificently to regain possession for West Adelaide and has indeed won a foul. Excellent work there by Nicole Tilly. And Laura Johns, after that magnificent first time touch, after that long ball from Willisey. Just absolutely quality on that left foot. Inside to Tilly, the pass. And that's what West Adelaide can produce. So the game is not out of their reach for sure. Holmes wins the header to Dorber. Wittmar. Hassled by Klajic, who's been really busy for West Adelaide, Dragana Klajic. Given away by Hodgson. Her and Di Bartolo having an epic battle on that right side. That's a great tackle by Hodgson. All ball. Di Bartolo recovers. And West Adelaide City will go all the way back. Long switch now. Probably got a bit too much on it, and Johns works it forward. Hoping to find Hillier or Tilly. Looks like it'll be Hillier. Hillier's done well to cut inside. Here's Klajic now. Klajic looking for a shot. Intercepted by Holmes, the goal scorer. Back to Klajic. She gets her foot on it. That should be cleared by Wittmar. It's a dangerous clearance, though, across the goal. And Macri is fighting over there with Izzy Hodgson, but cleared in the end by Izzy Hodgson. Now Sasaki. Kirkby. Much nicer interchange play there by West Adelaide. Here's Klajic. Pritchard trying to break Adelaide City's defence is West Adelaide, but they're finding it hard on that last line. And there's Wittmar. Some of the supporters wanting a foul there, but that was a good challenge by McNamara. Bit of pressure here from West Adelaide. They've got Adelaide City pegged back a little bit. Oh, that's excellent by Johns. Inside, back to Johns. Johns with a shot. Not too much, but some good signs here for West Adelaide, Paul. The last 5 or so minutes been much better.
They've fought back really well. Nothing to show for it in these last couple of minutes, of course, but that sort of intensity is what they need.
Looks like Dragana Klajic just pointed out to the fence that she's a bit sore. She's on her haunches there, Paul. I'll keep an eye on that for you, see whether we might get an early change here.
Jenna with the ball. And West need more of that. City did defend those situations very well, but if West can keep that sort of pressure up, they can might carve themselves out some sort of chance.
I think Diana Clay, she's in a lot of trouble. She's now on the ground. And she pulled up lame just in front of us, Paul. She tracked back really well into the left back position. She pulled up lame, and she's been struggling for about a minute or so.
Yeah, I did notice that. It didn't really see anything. Maybe just you know, little soft tissue type of thing had happened as she was tracking back, but there was no contact that I saw, unless of course we missed something that had happened earlier. But giving both teams a bit of a chance to regroup. Just to recap, it is 2-0 to Adelaide City, with Dylan Holmes and Chelsea Dorber scoring in rapid succession. Of course, tonight's WMPL Match of the Month is proudly presented by RAA, car insurance that keeps you moving. Visit raa.com.au to get a quote today.
I think that Diana Clay will be substituted here, Paul. Looks like one of the substitutes for West Adelaide has got the bib off and is getting ready.
Just trying to see who it is on the far side there. We'll let you know.
I think it's Alison Atkins, but we'll just wait.
I think you might be right. Of course, this will be her first match in the league, Alison Atkins, against the team that she represented for so long. Close season move from Adelaide City to West Adelaide. And one of many quality pickups that West have picked up. Of course, we mentioned Laura Johns, Lara Kirkby. They have built their side to try to take their challenge against City to the next level. Thus far, it hasn't worked out tonight, but there's a long way to go, and they've shown some good signs in the last few minutes. Ball given back to City to restart the game.
Looks like Atkins has gone into the deep holding role, which was occupied by Pritchard, and Pritchard's taken the attacking role.
Yep,
that's been left by Claitch's injury.
But now there's some space for City through Di Bartolo. Dorber's gone a bit early though, and well, you could say she went early, or Di Bartolo's was not quick enough to spot that opportunity, but either way, it broke down that attack. Now, Powell with a chance, but Saroulis will get there first. But all Willis is going to be able to do is put it out for a throw. And West absolutely cannot afford to concede a third. Yuka Sasaki. Bit of traffic now, and West are going to get the ball back. Saroulis. Willisy. Johns has got a bit of space, but it's going to go long to Tilly. Just bounces over her, and might have been a handball against Vidmar. Yes, referee Gary Mooney spotted that. So that Tilly's probably had the better of that battle so far, but the good positions she's gotten West into so far have not yet produced a goal. Campagnale. Holmes. That's been well intercepted by Hodgson. Sasaki and Hodgson battle. Hodgson just wins the battle. Tilly. Busy and fouled by Vidmar. Johns down, wants to get on with it. Hodgson. Pritchard. Kirkby plays it through. Now can Macri bustle through? It's gone through to Jenner. If West could just pull one back before half-time, you'd think that they'd go into, even with a deficit, they'd go into half-time with a little bit of belief.
It's about 5.5 minutes to go, plus any additional time the referee wants to add before these two teams get a break. Sasaki, Saroulis in the way. But Dorber gave up on that one, and I think she gave up on that one a bit too quickly there, Chelsea Dorber. She might have been given the benefit of the doubt if she'd gone through. Campagnale tried to play her through, and Dorber thought she was offside, but I believe it was Touchette who had dropped and was probably level. And Touchette has kicked the ball out because there is another injury on the park, and this time it's to an Adelaide City player on the far side. I think it's Izzy Hodgson out there. No, it's not quite Izzy Hodgson. It could be Just trying to get eyes on it. Campagnoli's there, and Di Bartolo's there, and Sasaki's there. Michaela Wittmar's there. Maybe it's one of the defenders. Actually, it's Tian Pao who has gone down. And in fact, I believe I saw what happened. She was tackled over here by a West Adelaide player, and I think she got stomped on pretty badly, and she felt it straight away. It is Tian Pao. And she's gone to the sidelines for now, and they do hurt, especially when it's quite cold. We've all had one of those moments.
Bit of a conference of the left-sided players of West Adelaide. While all that was going on, Laura Johns and Lara Kirkby and Nicole Tilley just having a bit of a chat. I'm sure trying to work out just how they're going to build that attack that gives West the lifeline they need in this game.
Di Bartolo sportingly gave the ball back to West Adelaide. It's now with Atkins, who's came on about 5 minutes ago for the injured Dragana Klajic. Willisi to Psaroulis. Bit of encouragement from the sidelines, but Wittmar in the way.
Just get the feeling Laura Johns is going to try to risk leaving Dorber when the occasional opportunity presents itself to overlap with Tilley. It already looked like she was trying to get further down the wing on that last attack.
It is a risk.
It is definitely a risk.
Someone as talented as Chelsea Dorber, if she finds space, as we've seen a couple of times, can easily break the line or cut inside and shoot on the left or a right. Very, very risky move by Adrian Sandtrack. But you're right, Johns has gotten forward a few times and gotten in behind.
Atkins.
But just as we say
and now Dorber's clear. She's one-on-one with Willisi. Dorber and Willisi. You've got to credit the keeper there. Sarah came out very quickly and very fast. And quickly and fast, there you go. No, and narrowed the angle very, very well. And Dorber put it wide. Exactly. But that was a big chance.
Exactly what we just spoke about there, Paul. Laura Johns opened up wide, and Dorber stayed central. And with the turnover,
well, and now though, this time Johns has got the break. Kirkby, Pritchard, opportunities here. Macri, oh, well intercepted. But has Hillier won it back? Good battling. And now Dorber's away. This time she's offside.
Correct call.
It's good ball through, but just offside. That's right in front of our commentary position, and I'd say that Jaden Betterman there, the assistant referee, got that spot on. Psaroulis looking for Tilley. Good control. Oh, and goes the shot straight away, but didn't quite get the contact she would have wanted on that occasion.
Just from our angle, that initial contact, it looked not too bad.
It
but
did look like she'd lined that up well. I think just got her foot under it a little bit as she was hooking it around. Jenna now. City with the goals and with that amazing attacking threat. It's going to be offside again against Di Bartolo. But well, it probably doesn't matter if you have 6 or 7 offsides against you if you do make those 1 or 2 breakthroughs that do get you past the defensive line and score the goals. And City have done that. Psaroulis here trying to do something about it for West. Atkins. Hodgson just couldn't find a way through. Has battled away. Now trying to get up the wing through Macri. She's been dispossessed. Atkins battling again. Touchette. Still going, but Holmes is going to be able to clear. That'll go all the way back. And Johns and Willisi between them see off the threat of Dorber, who's fired up tonight. putting in the hard yards. Now Tilly cuts inside. Good hold-up play. And, not bad in trying to get Macri through, but Hodgson was alive to it. That was Izzy Hodgson. Now it's Emily for West. Touchette. Atkins under pressure, but will win the foul. We are in stoppage time of the first half. West Adelaide 0, Adelaide City 2. Hodgson with the cross. There's no one really there, and well, Vidmar controlled the ball and nearly put herself under pressure, managed to hook it away. Pritchard trying to maybe fashion a chance to shoot, but that's going to be cleared as well. Touchette. Trying to put Macri through up the wing. She hasn't really gotten as much service as she might have liked so far tonight, Georgia Macri. Probably more's gone up Tilly's wing on the left. We're in the dying seconds of this first half. Now, West might have a corner and Laura Johns can come across to swing it in with her left foot. Last chance surely before half-time.
Talking about half-time, Paul, it is half-time in the other game between NTC and Adelaide Uni, and is the NTC taking a 1-0 lead in that game to the break.
And of course, Adelaide Uni only 1 point so far this season, so been a difficult one for them thus far. Johns now has a lot of players up for West. And it's just gone over, cleared, I think, by Macaulay in the end. There's bodies everywhere, and well cleared by Yuka Sasaki. She's put it a long, long way out. Still playing. We did, of course, have a couple of stoppages, so there might still be a little bit more time. Referee Gary Mooney checks the watch. And now Di Bartolo tries to get through, but well done, Cerulis. But lost out. John's going to clean up the danger. That, I think, might be that. No, another check of the watch. Tilly has won the ball. She's got City players all around her. It's done well. Kirkby. Hillier. Tilly. Good play, Holmes. And that will be half-time. West Adelaide 0, Adelaide City 2 in this top-of-the-table clash. Round 7 action here in the WNPL South Australia. Of course, this match is proudly presented by RAA. Car insurance that keeps you moving. Visit raa.com.au to get a quote today. And, well, we know these matches are always going to be great ones. This one hasn't let us down. You think the score at 2-0 might mean that City are doing it comfortably. I think the balance of play has been fairly even, and what it really has been, Spiro, is that City's been clinical in taking two fantastic chances, both within a minute of each other.
Just going through those statistics, Paul, which you probably have just got up on your screen. Total shots is 6-5 in front for West Adelaide. 3 shots on target each, 2 corners for West Adelaide to 0 to Adelaide City, 4 fouls to 7 for advantage to Adelaide City there. We're going to take a short break here from Varlo Football Centre with Adelaide City 2-0 at halftime. Don't you dare go anywhere. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic second half. Be back with you very, very soon.
Welcome back to Football SA's coverage of WMPL Round 7. It's Round 7 of 14 in the WMPL. This is the halfway mark. And this top-of-the-table clash between Adelaide City and West Adelaide could prove to be a very, very important one in the context of the season. Both teams came into this game on 15 points. And I dare say that if one of them takes a 3-point lead going into the second half of the season, and particularly when you know that they'll probably account for the bottom 3 or 4 sides, makes it very hard for them to overhaul. And so far it is Adelaide City leading this match 2-0. It's been a very competitive game, but 2 chances in 2 minutes. Very, very clinical play by Adelaide City to give them goals through Dylan Holmes and Chelsea Dorber, 2 players that are both having absolutely fantastic seasons. And I wouldn't rule West Adelaide out, Spiro. I think they've shown a bit since going down 2-0, but you probably would have to say they'd have to do everything right.
Yeah, they would have to do everything right from here. Adelaide City is not a team that easily gives up a winning score, and West Adelaide were good for a long, long period, but 5 minutes of dominance by Adelaide City scored them 2 goals, and they probably could have had another one there with Chelsea Dorber breaking through and almost getting a third for Adelaide City. So it's a weird situation where both teams are probably quite competitive against each other, but it's Adelaide City who are just so clinical, and they can break through that defence in a second. I mean, the first goal that Dylan Holmes scored, it was literally two or three passes that just broke West Adelaide apart.
Certainly, and it was one of those occasions where the offside trap was sprung by a brilliantly timed run. And, of course, West have actually played the line really, really well so far tonight. They've caught a couple of players out.
As you would have seen on your screens just a second ago, West Adelaide have actually caught Adelaide City offside 7 times in that first half. But like you just said, Paul, was that one occasion where they didn't, and they were punished.
And just looking at the teams lining up now, as we're getting ready for the second half, trying to spot if any changes have been made at half-time. Of course, there was one change in the first half with Ali Atkins coming on for West Adelaide. She came on in place of Dragana Klajic, who went off injured. But it's going to be Adelaide City kicking off with Tian Powell and Holmes, who's been the cause of so much of the undoing of City's opponents thus far this season, and on the score sheet again tonight. But these first few minutes will be very, very important. West in particular just have to make sure that they're settled. Here's Sasaki trying to make the lead 3, but she was unselfish. Macri heads the ball on. Hillier, good hold-up play. And a very good ball to put through Emily Hodgson, who's got pace. Holds it up. Back now. Atkins. Touche.
Dangerous.
Turns Powell. Up the wing, trying to get Hodgson through. It was well done by Izzy Hodgson in getting the ball away. That's going to be a throw-in for West Adelaide. Double ricochet there.
I think I've asked you this before, Paul, but what's the collective noun for Hodgsons? A quality of Hodgsons?
A quality, a brilliance.
A brilliance of Hodgsons.
Both fantastic players. Of course, unrelated. Now it's Johns trying to get the ball up the wing for Tilly. But we're just talking through the half-time break, and really get the feeling that even though there's so many good players in West Side, I do feel like Nicole Tilly is the one player who, if there's going to be one player who does break this game back West Adelaide's way, she's the sort of person that can make things happen. I always think back to the Cup final last year, which City won 6-1, but easily forgotten that when it was 3-0 and a lot of West Adelaide heads were down, Nicole Tilly just went and chased down Nano Sasaki, won a ball brilliantly and put through Georgia Macri to make it 3-1. It was as if she just decided, I'm not having this, and did something about it. Macri also trying to do something about it. Kirkby. Cerulis. This is good. Johns. Atkins. A stalwart at City for so long, Ellie Atkins. Facing them in a league match for the first time. That ball's going to be cut out by McNamara. Here's Yuka Sasaki. Di Bartolo got a bit of a lead on Hodgson, but now she's come back inside. High line again from West, but that's been well played out for Vidmar. I think she's going to lose it to Kirkby though, but regained by City. Now, chance for Di Bartolo. She gets around the keeper and it's 3-0. Just like that, in the 48th minute, Danny Di Bartolo has probably put Adelaide City out of sight. A couple of the West players are looking at whether that may have been a case for offside, and I've got to say my first impression was, well, let's just say it was pretty close. But
no real protest from
no
West
real
Adelaide
protest. Jackie Megson kept the flag down, the assistant referee, and it's 3-0 to Adelaide City, and that may just be that.
It's a long way back now for West Adelaide. That would be exactly not what they wanted. They would have spoken about it at half-time, making sure they come out and put pressure on. Di Bartolo's offside this time. But Adelaide City are just so clinical. And West Adelaide have maintained this high line. And it's worked in patches, but again, if you don't get it right against a team like Adelaide City, you give them a sniff and they will take that opportunity. Pritchard's switch doesn't come off, and that should be an Adelaide City ball, and it is. I think there was a suggestion that maybe one of the Adelaide City players nicked it on the way through, but it was clearly not touched by Dorber. West Adelaide now with all to do. Heavy contest, won by Pritchard, who's gotten better as the game's gotten on. That's a bad touch by Hodgson. Di Bartolo trying to play through Dorber. She's remained onside. Again, another tight call. Here's Chelsea Dorber. Can she make it 4? She can. And that's how simple it is for Adelaide City sometimes. It's going to be hard to stop them tonight. It's going to be hard to stop them all year, Adelaide City. And they've made it 4-0 in the space of 5 minutes. They've scored twice, and they have put this game beyond doubt. And West Adelaide now really have to think about maybe keeping the score a little bit down.
Spiro, I don't think they need a coach.
Well, they are that good.
That's they're just moving into another dimension here. 4-0 in the 50th minute, and they're hunting for more. Di Bartolo just too shit. Made an important interception, but Yuka Sasaki's putting her under pressure. Just relentless start. Adelaide City are just putting a stamp, not just on this game, but they're putting a stamp on the league. It's easy to think that in the last couple of years, sure, they've won the last 3 championships, but last season was the only one of those 3 seasons where they finished top, and by some distance. They have been made to work for those championships. But right now, they're playing the team that's been the second best team in the league thus far, and they're just dominating. Absolutely dominating. And just some of their players really looking like they're in their best form ever, and they're hungry. Absolutely hungry.
Thank you for joining us tonight here on our WMPL Match of the Round. Kindly brought to you by RAA. Car insurance that keeps you moving. Visit raa.com.au to get a quote today. You might be listening to us at the ground in the comfort of your home, or maybe you're out and about and you've got us in your ear. Thank you so much for being part of the broadcast tonight. RAA are kicking goals with award-winning home insurance as well. Get a quote today. raa.com.au. Can West Adelaide get a goal back? Dylan Holmes. Excellent close control there by Dylan Holmes. And West Adelaide looks shell-shocked. And here's Sasaki. She's left it for Di Bartolo. Di Bartolo, wasn't sure if that was a cross or a shot. Probably a bit of both in the end, but easy for Willisey. Hodgson for West Adelaide. Hillier to Pritchard. Fell awkwardly before. You might not be able to see it very clearly, but she's got a wristband or maybe a wrist strapping on protecting one of probably what is her thumb. She fell down before and clutched for it straight away, so she's obviously carrying a bit of an injury there. Doesn't affect her ability to play, of course, but she felt it when she put her hand down, and she's actually just holding it as we speak. So bit of a sore point there for Pritchard. Started slowly, but has gotten back into it. Sasaki, her sister Nano, not in the lineup tonight. Got injured in the warm-up and was replaced by Campagnoli in centre midfield. You know, if Georgia Campagnoli had a sort of a card, like a collector's card or a profile on a sports game, it would just have utility, because she can play left back, she can play right back, she can play as a winger, she can play as a central midfielder. Seen her play in all those positions. In fact, probably the only position we haven't seen her play is goalkeeper.
I was going to say, I think she just needs to put the gloves on, and she's completed the set.
Here's Holmes. He's been composed and clinical as always, Dylan Holmes. Macaulay to McNamara. Given away. But Holmes had to get it away, get a foul, get in the way there and cause a foul to slow the play, because Macri is clinical too. She's a very talented footballer as well, Georgia Macri. But a good position here for West Adelaide. Will be Saroulis to take the free kick. She's probably about 40 metres out. She's got Emily Hodgson gone wide. She decides to have a shot, Saroulis. Wasn't a bad idea. She saw Kendall Jenner off her line, but just a little bit too much in the end. But not a bad attempt. And I suppose when you're 4-0 down and trying to find a way back in the game, the question is, Paul, why not try that?
Izzy Hodgson, great ball. Gives Di Bartolo the chance to turn. Powell. Yuka Sasaki, who's been very, very good this evening. Now West have a chance. Great through ball for Macri. Georgia Macri has a chance. Great defending by McNamara. Absolutely brilliant tackle. Here's Emily Hodgson. She's just gotten underneath that. That's gone for a goal kick. Well, Matilda McNamara is having a fantastic time of things at the moment. Great season last season for Adelaide City. Got her back into the Adelaide United squad, where she made a few appearances towards the back end of the season. And that was just another example of her quality. Macaulay. Good ball through some players to Di Bartolo. She's going to get a foul from a challenge from Ali Atkins, who... How do you feel when, I guess, when you've left a team that's as good as this one, and then you have to come up and face them? It must be a strange and not brilliant feeling, but I'm sure she's going to do her best to turn it around. Hillier, can she put Tilly through? Tilly was offside. The referee hasn't seen the flag yet, but it's going to be Adelaide City's ball. It was a close call, but Jaden Betterman was right on the spot to call Nicole Tilly offside. Still 35 minutes to go, but it's not so much the score is a problem at 4-0, but it's the way the game is going, because it's almost hard to imagine that City could be stopped from scoring more, because they're in that sort of mood tonight. This is probably the best I've seen them play since they did win that cup final against West Adelaide 6-1. Now, there's some bigger wins than that, but not against this sort of opposition. There's a lot of good players in this West side. Make absolutely no mistake about that. But they are clearly second best at the moment. Dorber looking for Powell. Touchette got an important foot in. Cleared down the line by Laura Johns. But you look at this side and, you know, two fullbacks from Adelaide United, Johns and Emily Hodgson. You know, Lara Kirkby's played for Adelaide United in the centre midfield. Pritchard, Player of the Year last season. Saroulis and Touchette's a terrific defence. Saroulis, the last 2 years that she's been in the Team of the Year for the WMPL. That's the quality here. Here's Di Bartolo. Couldn't get onto it. Up front, Tilly, Hilly and Macri, a tremendous forward line. That team is 4-0 down to this ruthless City machine. Here's Izzy Hodgson. She's going to have to give away the throw on that occasion. Right in front of our commentary position. Emily Hodgson now. Looking for the 1-2, but it's gone out. It's not going West's way.
Izzy Hodgson, take the throw in. The Mac defence playing slide passes to each other. We'll call in McNamara. Michaela Wittmar. Back to Dylan Holmes, who's been superb. We don't rarely say that she's not superb, but tonight she's been another level of superb. I'm not even sure what the next step up from superb is, but whatever that is, that's what she's been tonight. Well done, Emily Hodgson. She's tried hard all night for West Adelaide. Here's Pritchard. Back to Hodgson. Kept moving forward, did Emily Hodgson. Looking inside. West Adelaide trying to find something. Here's Macri. Asked for a handball. Referee says nothing going. Here's Pritchard. Against Sasaki. She's given it away cheaply to Holmes. Who clears it forward, and should be Willisey's to collect. Saroulas, the captain, taken over from Chrissa Pavlomanolakos. Butchered that one. Pavlo Manolakos is what I wanted to say. She's at
just remind me what your heritage is, mate, and whether you should really be getting surnames like that wrong.
I'm from Gawler. What are you trying to say about Gawler, Paul? No, I butchered that one. Sorry, Chris. I know you'll be listening. I do apologise. I always get it right.
Just a bit of an injury at the moment. Let's have a look at that. I think
that's Di Bartolo there, I believe.
Yeah. I think she might just be stretching maybe a calf, but I think she's going to be okay to keep going.
Of course, teams can now make 5 substitutions.
Although we should remind that they've only got 3 windows that they can do it in. So if you want to bring on all 5, you have to make a couple of double substitutions or maybe even a triple to use up that entitlement.
And if you're not already confused, if you make a substitution at half time, it doesn't count to those 3 stoppages. So, correct. But no team has made a substitution at half time. The West Adelaide have made one, and that was forced due to Dragana Clage's injury. So if they want to make 5 substitutions, West Adelaide, they've got 2 opportunities to change 4 players. Sasaki's offside. Hopefully you've got your calculator and your protractor out and all of that and worked out what we were just saying there. But
it's an abacus.
Thank you, mate. That's exactly what I was looking for. You knew I was looking for an abacus and I said protractor. Getting a few sideways glances here from a few of the fans below us. I reckon they're just saying, call the game, boys.
Yeah, probably good advice.
West Adelaide with Johns. Here's Willisey. As you just would have seen on your screen not long ago, 9 offsides for Adelaide City. So it has definitely been a high line for West Adelaide. But they've gotten through on occasions. And here's another one. Here's Dorba. Can she make it 5? She gets around Willisey. Just wide for Dorba. And again, that high line from West Adelaide. If it doesn't work for them, Adelaide City do have the pace to exploit it. Dorba clearly onside there, coming from way behind that last defender for that run. And almost made them pay. Willisey again. She hasn't really done anything wrong, Sarah Willisey. Hasn't been
blameless for those goals.
Exactly.
No, nothing she could have done.
That'll be a throw-in for West Adelaide.
Laura Johns. Huge pickup for West in the off-season. She's on the honour board at Adelaide Uni. That's how long her service has been to that club. They're in blue and white this season. Here's Di Bartolo on the attacking left. She's got Izzy Hodgson. Hodgson might take a couple of players on and have a hit. Didn't quite get onto it as she would have liked. It's gone straight to Willisey.
Of course, Izzy Hodgson can also play further up the park. has been known to play high up on the wings.
Yeah, normally does. Such an attacking threat coming from left back. Good control here by Emily Hodgson. Great ball too for Macri. Hillier trying to turn. Good defending again by McNamara, who's having a very good game. Johns. Kirkby. Johns isn't going to get it back. And City will have to reset. West, I should say, will have to reset. But haven't really credited the Mac defence too much tonight. But they have had some questions asked of them, and they've come up trumps. Macaulay and McNamara in the two centre-back positions for Adelaide City. Hillier, great hold-up play, but that ball's asking a lot of Tilly. Jenna under no pressure. We're in the 64th minute. West Adelaide 0, Adelaide City 4. And if you've just been with us for a short time, we'll just go Hillier. No, can't quite get there. Yuka Sasaki has space, and Di Bartolo out wide also does. Faced by Emily Hodgson. Di Bartolo. Good play by Emily Hodgson just to hold her up and make her check around. Campagnoli tries to put Sasaki through. Touchette though. Macaulay. It's tight. Holmes. Good ball. But Di Bartolo just offside. But it hasn't been a 4-0 game in general play. What it has been a 4-0 game in has been the clinical way in which City has taken their chances.
That's right.
That's been the real difference this evening. And it's why they are going to be hard to stop from winning even more honours this season. Holmes battling away in midfield. McNamara. Holmes again. Campagnoli. Vidmar. Just a bit much on that. And West will set again through Touchette.
Just an update from the other game being played at the same time here at the Parks. It is still the NTC, the National Training Centre.
Oh, there's a bit of a chance, and Willisey has just avoided an own goal by Eleanor Saroulis, whose pass back to her was misdirected. And, when you're 4-0 down, that is not a way you want to concede again. Now, there's going to be a substitution made by Adelaide City. Just trying to see on the far side there who's about to come on.
Nano Sasaki, I believe, Paul. Just finishing off that, it's still NTC 1, Adelaide Uni 0 in the other game.
So Nano Sasaki's going to come on for Tian Powell.
Named in the starting lineup was Nano Sasaki, but we found out got a bit of a knock in the warm-up. So at 4-0, if a bit of an injury, is it worth the risk? Adriana Pellegrino acting.
I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're not risking her. I'm sure that she'd be coming on if she wouldn't be coming on if there was any question whatsoever. West are making a change too. I think it might be Elvin that's come on. I'll just keep an eye on it.
Touchette's the player who's come off.
The throw here for City. Hodgson, Di Bartolo, and Emily Hodgson concedes the corner.
Of course, another new rule, Paul, that has been implemented this year is that the referee can instruct players to leave the ground in the nearest part of where they are, pretty much. And Touchette, you probably didn't see her walking off at the halfway line. She was asked to go off the park on the sideline, on the near side where we are. So that's why you didn't see that substitution. But she's definitely walking around. Actually, she's gone straight to the change rooms, Touchette. She's not looking that good, actually. So hopefully all good there. Adelaide City with a corner, near post. Bit of a tricky one. Sasaki's just come on, has a shot, and that's just wide. Not bad for a first touch.
And it is Amber Elvin who's gone to the centre-back position in place of Abby Touchette.
Yeah, just with Abby Touchette, she walked past us and sort of was looking like she was a bit dazed. I'm not sure if she took a knock to the head. And she's gone straight into the change rooms here at the Parks with the West Adelaide trainers. So hopefully she's all good. 4-0 here for Adelaide City. 2 goals very early in the second half has really put this game beyond doubt. West Adelaide's still trying hard, and they're a team that's not going to give up. One thing Adrian Sandtrack has taught his team is to go to the end, and they will do that. Referee having a chat to Western Adelaide City player here, not sure what about. So just having a quick chat. Be a throw in for Adelaide City. Here's Di Bartolo, who's been in the thick of it for Adelaide City all day. Down the line, Pritchard, given away by Macri. But there was a foul there. She copped a knock on her foot. A bit quiet today, Macri. We're used to seeing her a bit more in the play, but she's been well held by Izzy Hodgson.
And probably most of West's attacks have gone down the left side to Nicole Tilley, who's battling away, but referee Gary Mooney's adjudged that she fouled Michaela Vidmar on that occasion.
We spoke about Izzy Hodgson being also a very good attacking player. She won Goal of the Week this week in the Football South Australia competition.
Here's Dorber. She's given the defence the slip. Chelsea Dorber tries to put the shot in. Di Bartolo's offside. And I think that was a very easy decision for Jackie Megson on that line. The assistant referee on the far side of camera. We're in the 69th minute. West Adelaide 0, Adelaide City 4.
And Izzy won the public vote for Goal of the Week. She beat her teammate in Perry Mitras. Apparently there's a bit of banter between the two on the old social networks. But,
well, the people spoke. They spoke for Izzy. And Perry's just going to have to suck it up, I'm afraid.
Perry was a bit stiff. He did score from halfway.
He did. It was a pretty good goal.
But having said that, Izzy thunderbolt the top corner last week from the 18-yard box.
And that's a great ball by Izzy, speaking of her, through to Danny Di Bartolo, who's got a bit of space. Chelsea Dorber, that's well cut out though. Here's Elvin. Nano Sasaki, so it's Yuka Sasaki. But West will come away now through Pritchard. Hillier, good play. Macri, that ball's just a bit too short. Now it's Nano. And Izzy Hodgson's going to go all the way back to Kendall Jenner. Oh, that's Kendall Jenner's really just lost control of that release, and it's going to give West a chance for a bit of possession in a more attacking position. Emily Hodgson. She gets it straight back from Atkins. And Pritchard tried to put Atkins through, unlucky. Kirkby. Johns. Tilly. Good defending by Adelaide City though. They've set up very well. Here's Kirkby again, under pressure. Trying to get Tilly through. McNamara away. It's all very tight in that area of the field at the moment. Holmes. Now Nano tries to get the ball forward, but it's going to be an Adelaide City throw. 20 minutes to go. No real chance for West to get back into the game, but they really need to try to get something out of it. There's a lot to play for this season. They are going to go behind Salisbury Inter as things stand, with Inter having won earlier tonight to get themselves to 16 points. West are on 15. City will go to 18 with a win tonight. And of course, you want to get into the top two positions. If you can't finish top, gives you the double chance in the finals if you're able to finish in second spot. So it's still very, very important for them to take something out of this game, even if they're going to lose it. Here's Holmes trying to add the pain. Campagnoli! Great save, Sarah Willisey. She has not had a bad game, even if she's had to pick the ball out of the net on 4 occasions. And she just prevented the score from getting even bigger for the black and whites. It's going to be Yuka Sasaki to take the corner. Always such a quality delivery from the younger of the Sasaki sisters. Left foot. McNamara's up. City still looking for more, but that should be cleared by Laura Johns. Tilly. Just a little bit of space, but couldn't keep the ball in. Just trying to work their way back. Good battling in the middle of the park there. Sasaki again. Bit of head tennis now. Pritchard trying to get a calm foot on the ball. Can she put it through for the overlapping Hodgson? Well played, Emily Hodgson. Try to get the ball inside. Well read by McNamara. Brings it away again brilliantly as well. Di Bartolo.
Just an update, Paul, in the other game. NTC 1, Adelaide Uni 1.
Atkins, Pritchard. That's cut out by Macaulay. Kirkby, Pritchard. Hodgson's on her right if she wants it. There's some players in the middle. Emily Hodgson facing Izzy Hodgson. And it's Izzy that wins the battle on that occasion, but it'll be a West throw.
Holmes got a tackle in on her Adelaide United teammate there, but looking a bit ginger, both players, but both very, very tough competitors, so they should both be fine, and it'll be Emily Hodgson, who's done quite well tonight. Pritchard, Hodgson, swings it in on the left. Easy pickings for Adelaide City's defence. What a great ball from Dorber, and Holmes to Dorber, and here's Chelsea Dorber one-on-one. Can she get past Sarah Willisey? Sarah Willisey and the defender in Elvin have done really well. But Dylan Holmes, again with a great through ball.
Again, Holmes and Dorber are just in unbelievable form this season.
Almost telepathic at some points.
Yeah. Oh.
Here's Hillier, who's been quiet tonight. Atkins. He's been solid since coming on. Pritchard. Back to Atkins. Here's Tilly. And all night she's had Michaela Wittmar right next to her, and that was again the case there. Michaela Wittmar, I have to say, Paul, a couple of times we've seen her play this season, has impressed me very much at right fullback. Daughter of Tony.
Can also play centrally in the back four.
Holmes, Macaulay, and Adelaide City really now just holding on to the ball as they can do. West Adelaide being stretched and forced to chase.
They've really got to keep the pressure on West when Kendall Jenner's got the ball. The last couple of distributions haven't been good, and that's when you really want to make sure that if there's just that flat spot of confidence in a keeper to see if you can give yourself as good a chance as you can to cash in.
Macri, 2-on-1. It's done really well there, Georgia Macri. Hodgson tried to play it inside. It was lost, though, by Kirkby. Now it's Di Bartolo for Adelaide City. Sasaki. Superb touch. The ball stopped. Literally stopped on a spot. She turned. Played it wide to Wittmar. If you haven't seen the Sasaki sisters play before,
it's a joy, isn't it?
They're worth the price of admission alone, those two. Here's Holmes. Macaulay. Yuka Sasaki and Macaulay. Quick 1-2s. And I think it's fair to say, Paul, that West Adelaide are looking a bit short on ideas right now. They're trying hard, but they haven't really gotten any further than this. That was a dangerous clearance by Macaulay. And in fact, I don't remember Jenna actually making much of a save tonight.
Yeah, she's had a couple that were not extremely difficult. Certainly had to be on her guard, particularly in the first half. Yuka Sasaki. Izzy Hodgson just crowded out a little bit. Di Bartolo might win out this occasion, but no, Emily Hodgson beats it to the ball. Kirkby. Emily Hodgson keeps it in. Great anticipation from Holmes, just able to clear the ball up the line, and she just finds Dorber, doesn't she? But coughed up this time, Kirkby. Tries to get it back from Macri. Atkins. Pritchard. Yeah, just trying to chisel away, but City have been defending well, and now they're trying to get Dorber through again. That will be a foul. Wasn't malicious, trying to go at the ball, Dorber, but took Elvin out on the way.
I've got to say, I don't know, maybe I'm alone in this, but I don't think that's a foul. That's just two players competing for the ball. But
I think she just found the defender's space and ran into it. Probably the right decision, but
more obstruction,
wasn't really
than contact.
Wasn't a malicious challenge. It's just really two players getting in the way, but it was the right call. Here's Cirulis. Tilly gets the foul. In truth, might have been given an opportunity just to see how that attack might have developed. Atkins plays it quickly to Pritchard. Tilly. Just can't quite find Hillier on that occasion. McNamara in the right place again. Well, with the City's potent attacking tonight, giving them the 4 goals, if you're awarding a player of the match, you couldn't really give it to McNamara, but she's played an absolutely tremendous game and is as responsible as anybody else for City's success tonight. We're going to have a sub, and I think it's going to be Bianca Gray coming on for Adelaide City. Just waiting to see who's going to come off. It's going to be Yuka Sasaki, who's been excellent. Like most of her teammates, to be fair, but she's particularly been influential, Yuka. Bianca Gray. A couple of appearances for Adelaide United a few years ago. Former Sturt Marion player. It's the 2013-14 season that she was at Adelaide United. Long time ago. Di Bartolo's got some space now. Facing Emily Hodgson. Just trying to get away from her. Hodgson's done well, just forced her back. Here's Izzy Hodgson trying to get the crossover, but it was only going to be offside if Dorber had touched it, and she knew that herself and didn't compete. Emily Hodgson. Macri. Atkins, that's not a bad ball at all. Lara Kirkby can run onto it. She's got plenty of pace. Oh, but she's, well, that's the sort of night it's been. Even when those sniffs of opportunities have come West's way, they haven't been able to cash in.
Just a little bit of rain falling now too, Paul. We're in the 81st minute. 10 minutes plus any additional time. And it's been a comprehensive performance by Adelaide City against arguably their biggest rivals. They've scored 2 sets of 2 goals in 5 minutes. And they're looking to get a 5th here. Here's Di Bartolo looking to swing it in. But Elvin got her foot in the way, and not sure whether she caught her ankle on the ground there as she tried to intercept that ball, but she's struggling a little bit. The substitute has just been on for about 15 minutes or so for Touchette, but definitely struggling, and the trainer needs to come on. I dare say that she rolled her ankle as she tried to stretch for that ball, and that's not looking good for Elvin, unfortunately. We'll keep a close eye on this, but I think they might be looking to make a substitution. And that'll be, unless there's a double change or a triple change, or double change actually, because they've already made 3? 2. Unless it's a triple change. Looks like it is actually going to be a double change for Adrian Sandtrack. They won't be able to bring on a 5th substitution.
I just wonder where West go from here if they're playing City in a match of this magnitude again, because last season they were able to find ways in which they could compete very, very evenly with City. But tonight, just about everything they've tried in attack while it's not been poorly executed, it just hasn't yielded any dividends, hasn't really looked like yielding too many dividends, and they've just been cut apart on so many occasions. And where do you go from here? Do you sort of try to reset whether you play such a high line? Do you try to risk and see if it comes off better for you? I feel like in the grand final last year they played a very much a slower tempo and controlled the pace of the game and were nearly rewarded. But just hasn't worked out for them tonight. And to be fair, City have been on fire, absolutely on fire. And just as the word we keep coming back to, they've been clinical.
I think you summarised it really well there, Paul. And it will be a double substitution, or at least one. No, it will be a double substitution.
Hilliard's going off.
Hilliard's going off. And we assume that
Kasumovic is going to come on, I'm pretty sure.
Elvin won't be able to continue for West Adelaide. So number 28 is on for West Adelaide.
That's Sienna Cavino. And 26, if she comes on, is Yasmina Kasumovic, who's played most of West's game this season, a lot of them coming on as a sub.
And after that long delay of about 3 minutes, it will be an Adelaide City corner. We wish young Elvin all the best with that injury. It did look quite bad. She's really struggling around the sideline. Swung in now by Adelaide City. Cleared by Psaroulis. Dylan Holmes lets it run for a throw-in. Taken by Hodgson. Di Bartolo. Sasaki. Excellent by Nano Sasaki. Just got away from her right at the end there. Di Bartolo, it's a handball. I don't think the referee had a hard decision there. It was written all over Atkinson's face. She's smiling about it now.
Again, no action taken by the ref. Probably rightly so.
I think so.
Two very clean teams, I must say. They might be very, very competitive, but I think only 3 yellow cards for City so far this season, and only 2 for West. So play the game in the right spirit, even if they are super competitive.
Game's really slowed down now. Obviously, the result is beyond doubt. Bit of damage limitation possibly for West Adelaide in the last 10 or so minutes. But even Adelaide City have really slowed down. And you're right, Paul. I mean, West Adelaide, maybe Adelaide City are in their head now. They've tried something different tonight, West Adelaide. They've obviously played a very high line, hoping to catch the pacey attack of Dorber and Di Bartolo offside as much as possible. And they've managed that possibly on 11 or 12 or 13 occasions. But they've also conceded 4. And in the end, like you said, I think at the start of the second half, Paul, you might get caught offside 15 times, but if you get through 4 and you score them, then that's really what you're after. So it might be back to the drawing board for Adrian Sandtrack, because West Adelaide will definitely play finals.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question of that.
If they're not the second best team in the competition, they're definitely, equal with Salisbury Inter.
It's hard to see the top 3 not being Adelaide City, West Adelaide and Salisbury Inter. Don't want to set that in stone too early. We're at the halfway mark of the season tonight, but those teams do appear to be a step ahead. Of course, Metro United, who are 4th, did defeat Adelaide City, but that was in round 1 when the W League players were not available. And, since everyone's been able to have a full complement of players, results have gone as expected. Here's Nicole Tilley. She's got a bit of space. She swung out onto the right, not her normal side. Oh, and Emily Hodgson was waiting for a ball that never came. Here's Dorber. It always seems to come to her. And on this occasion, she's lost out to Cavino. But she's given it away. Holmes has a bit of space. And that ball didn't quite get the angle on it that she would have been after. And Wilsey able to clear, but Vidmar.
There is such a gap, though, between the top three and even Metro in fourth. I mean, Salisbury Inter beat Metro 5-1 tonight, and that was third versus fourth.
Yeah. Now, here's a chance for Kasumovic. She's got Tilly in the middle. Jenna was in the right spot.
Wasn't a bad ball. Of course,
that's about as deep as West have gotten as far as trying to get through City's lines in this second half.
Just wrapping up that conversation about the teams up the top, Paul, and the challenges. I mean, Metro have lost arguably their most potent player in Chrissy Panagaris for a long time. She's here tonight in a moon boot.
And conversely, I understand that Rachel Quigley's back for Salisbury Inter, which will make their already very potent attack absolutely fierce. I don't know that I'd want to be a defender facing not just Cote Rojas, but Cote Rojas getting ball supplied by Rachel Quigley would be an extraordinarily potent attack for Inter. Keep our eye on that in the second half of the season.
Michaela Wittmar has come off for Adelaide City, and she's been replaced by number 9.
Caitlin White.
Bianca Gray's gone back to right back for Adelaide City. Goal kick.
Kasumovic just couldn't keep that in.
Winding down here at the Parks. It's been a fantastic night of football. Like we said, I'm not sure if there is such a thing as a quadruple header, Paul, but that's what we had tonight. We had all 4 games here at the Parks. We have had an excellent crowd all night. Plenty of hot chips being sold. No lids. Not like the Adelaide Oval. That was a big controversy this week. Full.
It's a lot cheaper here as well, I can tell you that. I'll give you the hot tip right there.
Dylan Holmes just doesn't stop. Just does not stop all game. West Adelaide have done well to retain possession. There she is again, Dylan Holmes. Sasaki, she's fouled by Pritchard.
I mean, let's just think about that for a moment. You can go to Adelaide Oval, see one game and pay, what, $27 for a bucket of chips. You can come here and get 4 games and get them an awful lot cheaper. That's why I'm here, Spirit.
Sound like a 10-pin bowling ad. 4 games, bucket of chips and a hot dog. But you're absolutely right. And arguably, the way things are going, you get high scores here too.
Ouch.
Hodgson. It's got to Macri.
Kasumovic. Just can't get through.
Di Bartolo battling to the end. The end is not far away. Officially in injury time here. Can't be too much time.
Be a few minutes though, because we did have a couple of stoppages.
Macri. Dylan Holmes again, giving West Adelaide nothing. 91st, 92nd minute, nothing. Di Bartolo now, 3-on-2 here. Great little switch, but should be easy for Willisey, and it is.
I've got to say, Caitlin White was probably making a run far too early on that occasion. Would have been offside if it had come her way. Tilly. Cavino. Good. Pritchard. Manages to get past Holmes' challenge. Atkins. The endeavour has not been lacking at all. But the ability to break through in positions like this, that's what's been missing. And West are in trouble here. Dorber. White's in the middle. Caitlin White. Can she score? Sarah Willisey absolutely timed her movement perfectly. Caitlin White, who is a forward, still waits for her first goal of the season. I mean, she's mostly come on as a sub, but should be itching to get onto the score sheet. Atkins. Pritchard. Just a bit of space now, but Campagnoli closed it down quickly. Izzy Hodgson. Di Bartolo. Campagnoli. Good play by Kirkby and Tilly. Again, McNamara has intercepted. Johns doesn't get the 1-2. McNamara is almost playing as a number 6 there, but now Johns has got the ball. Can she get a quality ball in? Oh, and not quite on the same wavelength as Macri there. So you're going to be able to clear. White. Bartolo's got space on the left now. And Izzy Hodgson takes off. 93rd, 94th minute. Still putting in the really hard, quick yards. Here's Dorba, offside. And there it is. West Adelaide 0, Adelaide City 4. A tremendous performance by the reigning champs. And they have put themselves into red-hot favouritism once again to take out the premiership in 2020. They go to 18 points after 7 rounds. 2 ahead of Salisbury Inter, 3 ahead of West Adelaide. But it's how ominous they've looked tonight. Said goodbye to a coach only today. They've come out with a caretaker coach, but they have looked absolutely brilliant and imposing. Easily their best performance of the season. As I said before, they might have racked up more goals in other games, but not against this sort of opposition. It's been absolutely tremendous.
I just don't have any more adjectives for the football that Adelaide City play. They are able to go from defence to attack in a blink of an eye. They can play the long ball through. They can pass you to death. I mean, the question is, Paul, can anyone stop them?
Well, you know, they gave Salisbury Inter a hiding earlier this season. And 4-0 against West. And when you got results against your nearest opponents on the table like that, it really does make you wonder if anybody can stop them. I mean, the last couple of years they've risen in their levels each year, and they may have just done that again. And it's putting out a huge statement to the rest of the competition. I mean, we mentioned it before, there's absolutely no lack of quality in West Side. I mean, you could probably say that they've got even better players overall this season than they did last season. I mean, they lost Chris Pavlomanolakis, but look at some of the players they've picked up. Laura Johns, Lara Kirkby, Ali Atkins. I mean, that's some real quality.
Absolutely.
And a lot of active W League players out there, plenty of past ones. And well beaten tonight. But it's been amazing to be here to watch this performance, because I think when you look back on this season, you might come back and say, well, this was the night where we saw that City would again reign supreme. Of course, there's a long way to go. But if it goes the way we think it's going to go, then tonight we saw the reason why.
Before we wrap up, Paul, just a reminder that tonight's WMPL Match of the Month is proudly presented by RAA. Car insurance that keeps you moving. Visit raa.com.au to get a quote today. Or maybe it's home insurance that you're after. You can also get a quote with the RAA at raa.com.au. Just a reminder of all the scores tonight from the WMPL. Salisbury Inter 5, Metro United 1. It was Fulham 1, Adelaide Comets 0. In our broadcast match, Adelaide City 4, West Adelaide 0. And in the other match that was played concurrently here at the Parks, the NTC and Adelaide Uni played out a 1-1 draw. My name is Spiro. It was an absolute pleasure to be with you tonight, and my co-commentator Paul as well. Thank you so much for being part of our broadcast, and we'll see you again next month for the WMPL Match of the Month. Good night from us.